And Algebra 2, we're moving on to systems of linear equations. And we are going to learn what's happening in Chapter 3, Section 5. Typically, linear equations have intersecting lines. So this is typically what happens. And they have a point in which they intersect. So the two lines intersect at the point, and we name that point. If I had to name this point, I would say that it's 3, -1. Sometimes these lines are parallel. If they are parallel, they have no solution. And then other times, these lines are like this one is 6x minus, I think that says 15y equals 12. And then the exact same line is right over it at -3x plus 5y equals -6. In this case, this would be all solutions. So let's just get our feet wet with this. This one's just asking us if 5,2 is a solution of the system. The key word here is system. 5,2 has to work with the x and the y in both equations. So let's check it. 2 times 5 plus 3 times 2, does that equal 16? I don't know, let's look. 10 plus 6, yes, that is equal to 16. So it does work for the first one. Let's check the next one. 3 times 5 minus 7 times 2, does that equal -1? 15 minus 14 does not equal -1. So this is not a solution for this whole system because remember that it has to work for both and it only worked for one. We're going to learn a bunch of ways to solve. Right now we're going to learn how to solve using substitution. Remember when you use substitution, if there was a substitute teacher in school today, somebody would be in place of your current teacher. So all we're going to do is substitute something for something else. So I look at my equations and I say, what would be the easiest to solve for x or y? Well, if I look right here, I can solve for x by adding y to each side, and x would equal 9 plus y. So instead of putting in x in the top equation, since I solved for the bottom, I'm going to put in 9 plus y. So notice I'm writing the exact same thing over, but instead of putting in x, I am putting in 9 plus y right in place for that x. Let's distribute. 18 plus 2y plus 3y equals 13. Add like terms. 18 plus 5y equals 13. Subtract 18 over 5y equals, well, 13 minus 18 is -5. So y equals -1. Now, I haven't solved yet because remember we have to solve for each one. So I'm going to go ahead and find an original. I'm choosing the bottom because it's easiest. And instead of putting in y, I'm going to put in -1. X minus -1 equals 9. X plus 1 equals 9. And when I solve for x, x is equal to 8. So using substitution, I solved, and here we go. I have 8, -1. All right, there is another method that most people like better. It's called the elimination method. For some reason, our book calls it the linear combination method, but you will see this word elimination method mostly. So what you need to do is observe, my x's, I have a 3x and a 2x. My y's, I have a 2 and a -5. And you need to decide what would be the easiest to cancel out. Well, I know, and I'm getting these numbers from my own head. People always ask me, where do you get these numbers? I know if I multiply this by 5, this will be a 10y. And I know if I multiply the bottom by 2, this will be a negative 10y. And that's what we want, are two opposites. So on the top, 15x plus 10y is equal to 20. And on the bottom, if I distribute 4x minus 10y equals negative 58. All right, so notice when I add down, my y's cancel out, and I get 19x equals negative 38. Therefore, when I divide each side by 19, I get x equals negative 2. Well, that is only my x point. I still have to find my y. So I'm going to plug it into an original. 3 times negative 2 plus 2y equals 4. Somehow I did not put that in a convenient place. I'm sorry, I'm going up. Negative 6 plus 2y equals 4. When I add the 6 over, 2y is equal to 10, so y is equal to 5. Now, it is always in our best interest to check our work. So I'm going to check my work right here by plugging in negative 2 for x and 5 for y. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. 5 times 2 is 10. Is that equal to 4? It sure is. Always a good idea to check our work. All right, I'm going to do one more solving the systems of equations because something's going to happen here. I would probably use elimination method here. Again, we know substitution method and elimination. And if I eliminate, I just have to multiply this through by a negative 2 to make this a positive 2y. So let's do that. Negative 2 times 2x is negative 4x. Negative 2 times negative y is positive 2y. And negative 2 times 7 is negative 14. Well, remember on the bottom here, we had 4x minus 2y equals 9. What happens when I add down? Well, that cancels out. That cancels out, which gives us a big fat 0. Is 0 equal to negative 5? No. So in this case, there would be no solution. So just a reminder, if you were to graph these two lines, I don't know what these lines look like, but they're parallel lines. I do know that. So if you have the same number, if you got negative 5 equals negative 5, that would be all solutions.